Driverless cars have been promised for more than a decade now, but have yet to really become part of reality. But that is slowly changing. Here in San Francisco, two companies, Waymo and Cruise, have been granted licenses to provide paid-for robo-taxi services to the general public. We've got one here now, so let's try it out. So we're in a Waymo, and there are around 250 of these driving around San Francisco. And for anyone who's booked an Uber or used an app to hail a taxi, it's really a very familiar experience. You pull out your phone, you say where you want to go, you plug in your credit card details, and a couple of minutes later the car shows up. You unlock it with your app, you get in, you press start to go, and off you go. The most eerie thing about being in the back of a driverless car is the wheel going left and right as you go around corners and junctions of its own accord. It's really quite an unnerving experience at first, but then you certainly get used to it. These cars have been trained on millions of hours of driver data, and it shows. They're maybe a little bit more timid, a little bit less aggressive than your average taxi driver, but it feels quite smooth. It feels like something you could quite easily get used to. It hasn't been plain sailing for driverless cars in San Francisco. They've been accused of causing traffic jams with 3 or 4 cars at a junction all together, just bringing traffic to a halt. They've been accused of holding up emergency services because they don't get out of the way in time, and there's no human to intervene here. And one car actually drove into cement and had to be rescued. So it hasn't been straightforward for driverless cars, but sitting here in the back of one, it just feels very natural. It feels like something you could get used to. Obviously there's no human driver here to interact with if you've got a problem. The way you communicate with Waymo is through this screen here. If you wanted to call customer support, if you wanted to tell the car to pull over, and you can also, if you want, pick what music to play in the car.